Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Krista here to do the monthly forecast for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This is for, what a nice card to jump out. That's about new beginnings, a leap of faith. It's for the month of November 2018. I hope that you enjoyed your October 2018 readings. This is a general reading, as always, for your sign, Sun, Moon, Rising for Cancer. Whatever is most prominent in your world during the time of this viewing is what I encourage you to take the messages and apply them to. And as always, I hope that you find them helpful and healing. And what just flew out? Justice and the Queen of Swords. So the woman who's seen everything, heard everything, wisdom through trial and critical thinking, and then of course justice being served, sweet justice. So those could be, the jumper cards could be messages for specific Cancerians watching today. We'll see if they show up in our spread. We do have a 5-card spread for the month of November. As a general matter, we're just doing a relatively short Celtic spread. Messages of love, that's nice. Using the bottom of the deck card for general energy, and of course getting jumper cards from the Oracle decks as always. So messages for Cancer. What does Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising need to know for the month of November? Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, November. And there's needing to put a load down, taking a load off. It's always interesting to see when the jumper cards, if they do, not necessarily when, but if they show up in your main spread today. New opportunities, looking out for your ships coming in. All right, cards. We're looking for general messages. Cancer. Universe. Mother Mary. Archangels. Messages for Cancer Sun. Cancer Moon, Cancer Rising signs. Interesting. All right. General energy for the month for you is Judgment. This is beautiful. This is really just a second chance. As a general energy for the month for you, something that you'd put on the back burner for whatever reason. Again, it's a general reading. This could be relational, business, personal, spiritual, partnerships. Could be about academics or study, or none of the above, something very particular to you. In any of those cases, a second chance is now yours. In fact, it's not just a second chance to do something over again. It's a different appreciation for it. It's as though the time wasn't right the first time. It's as though you didn't think you were ready. I think whenever we develop a question or a theme or a path, I think we're always ready. Intuitively, we know we are. It's almost like, and it'll be interesting to see if there's any swords that come up in the 5 cards to see if our thoughts have been holding us back at all, or if we're through with that, if we're through sort of entertaining the thoughts or the maybe limiting beliefs around a theme regarding a second chance for you. So this is actually really exciting. November looks like something's going to finally just take root or get exposure, or something, as I just mentioned, something as simple as limiting beliefs or ideas, or even processes or themes or even activities will be removed. And I think you'll be able to see something very, very clearly here about moving forward. Let us get your 5 cards out. Let's see what's going on here. Look at that. Yeah, Tower. Let's see what the other cards around it are saying. But ultimately, I see this is something very positive. Something clearly has to, in a sense, right? And we're dealing with swords already. So in a sense, it's almost like thoughts, belief systems, ideas, maybe even interpretations of something about yourself or a project really has to come to an end here. And we'll see why in just a moment. Yep, there's more swords. Totally. There's your beautiful Ace of Fire. Holy smokes. I'm excited for you, Cancer. This is really exciting. 100% right off the bat, as I mentioned with the Judgment here, if you've been holding yourself back from something, or if you really feel like do or die, now or never, blank or get off the pot, really don't put it off any longer, whatever that is, because this is saying, and this could even be a final chance. I think, in the absence of actual death, nothing is ever final. It's just transformed, but we're not seeing transformation here. There's no death card here, okay? There's no total transformation because you already know intuitively, right? What you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be, who you're supposed to be, what is supposed to be guiding you here. Your highest calling or your highest temperament or gift giving or contribution is well known and well interpreted intuitively, okay? I really want to make that clear because I knew this straight up even before I saw these cards. This is the difference. This Judgment, which is overall energy, matched with, these are 2 major arcana, by the way, very, very potent energies, transformative in the sense where you kind of can't get around this. You can maneuver these other energies here. You can work with these. These are mutable, malleable. The major arcanas are, given energies. They're there, and you can work with them or you can ignore them, and they'll sort of work themselves out in your environment anyway. So in my estimation, it's always wise to know what you're working with so you can use it to your highest advantage. So this is actually a very beautiful gift for you. In conjunction with the overall energy being Judgment, I'm just going through an overview here. I'll look at these individually in their positions in a moment, as I always do. You are dealing with Tower energy, which is basically another, it's a level of enlightenment. It's a little bit different, say, of an enlightenment than the Hanged Man, where you have to, take some time, take a step back, put a different set of lenses on, examine things from different perspectives. Enlightenment can happen there, and it ought to, but that's not what we're seeing. We don't have the Hanged Man here. We don't even have the Death card here. We have sudden changes, sudden decisions, sudden reconciliations, sudden placements in terms of if you've been holding yourself back from something, and I know you have, I can feel it. This is, you've talked yourself into or out of something that you know intuitively you should be doing. Or if you've talked yourself out of it that you shouldn't, let me back up. If you've talked yourself out of something, you know intuitively you should be doing it. If you talked yourself into something, you know intuitively that you shouldn't be doing it. There, that's all I mean by that. No cups in your spread. None. Only swords. And what did I say at the very, very start? If this is about a theme, a second chance is going to be around a decision. Okay? And it needs to happen because especially right now, Cancer, if you're watching this and you're like, but I'm so uncomfortable with this idea, or I'm so uncomfortable with putting myself out there or following through, or honestly, what keeps sort of playing itself out in my vocabulary here is almost like make a fool of myself. For some reason, that message is for someone or all of you, that there is a right? These are fear-based. Swords can be fear-based. They're heavier. It's a heavier element. It's air. We also did have the Queen of Swords sort of jump out of the deck at the very, very beginning when I was shuffling. I did mention, that's the Queen. That's the Queen. If I've seen it, I've been there, I bought the t-shirt. Like, she is wisdom personified. So that's another reason why I see, like, you already know, even intellectually, that these things are holding you back. So anyway, this really needs to come to a head. You really need to say, I'm just going to do it. Let the chips fall where they may would be a really nice motto for you this month in November, Cancer. And I just want to make it clear, I'm not talking about an intentional upset or an intentional breaking apart, intentional suffering. Anything that has to do with lower vibrational energy with regard to the things I've just mentioned isn't what this is alluding to. This is higher vibrational, always. This is about following your heart, following your intuition, doing what's best for you and everyone, not only in your own circle, but as a human construct, for the base of humanity, okay, the soul of humanity. This will serve humanity. So I'm talking really high vibrational energy here. When you understand what that is for you, you'll see here, you just make a move. You just throw something old away, something old will be thrown away for you. 100%. 100%. You got to give something up here in order to make a move toward and this is your outcome, right? And we'll look at these in their respective positions in just a moment. But it's absolute prosperous, like so much prosperity that you can teach other people how to do it. This is a master. This is the Capricorn, okay? Father energy. Like the gentle boss, even if this is, it's definitely not the high priest, so I wouldn't say that it's necessarily the boss, but it's very, what's it called when you're very adept at something? I guess you're adept. It's being really good at what you're doing. And listen, I'll get into that a little bit more in just a second. I'm just really really happy to see something finally being dropped that doesn't serve you and isn't good for you, that has been on your mind and you need to let it go. Okay, so let's get into why I'm saying that. Sorry for going in depth here with what was going on with all these cards together, but I do find it very interesting that you know full well where you want to be and you know full well the time is now. That's basically my biggest message here. The Tower is in your work position. So yeah, something sudden changes with work. Sudden changes with the way that you approach work, the way you want to work, the way you've always wanted to, as opposed to the way that you do now. I'm going to suggest it's the way you thought about how you needed to work or thought it was supposed to go. Ideas or ideologies or even beliefs about how your work was supposed to go. So whether or not you're working in an office or out of your home, or you are a full-time parent and that is your job, your full-time job, that's your workplace. That's not only your home, that's your workplace. So I think something akin to, and again, similar to the Hanged Man, where a new perspective is necessary right now, but it's not, you don't have the time, or you won't be taking the time to sort of like sit back and examine and ponder and, do some critical analysis here. This is just going to be like right in your face, super sudden. The difference between night and day, frankly, here with the Tower. Again, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. This could very much free you into recognizing that this is, intuitively speaking, it is the direction that you're supposed to be going. Please don't make any more excuses for not going in that direction. Let's look at card number 2. This is your home. Whoops. This is where we're looking at taking hard lessons that were learned and sailing away to calmer waters. So yeah, and especially with this was a little bit of, self-imposed anxiety or self-imposed limitations. As I said at the very beginning, this is really all about setting yourself free from these self-imposed limitations. 100%. I knew that kind of from the first card. Anytime we have second chances. I mean, if this is a love reading for you, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. You could be dealing with, some sun energy. There could be a Leo. Transformation. Even though it's the Tower, I do consider it a transformative card. There could be some Scorpio energy and Judgment, which could be Libran energy. So just balance, okay? You want to balance. You want to be able to go to the depths of yourself and your being without being afraid of what's in there. And I think that's what was going on here. I think this was these decisions not to, or to develop something you shouldn't be, were based in fear. And I think it's going to be a wake-up moment for you, especially here in the home position, which is sailing to clearer waters. Really nice to see that, because you're freeing yourself. You're getting out of your own way, which is literally the unexpected. And the unexpected is perhaps what you didn't think was buried so deep, which was needing to get away. Okay, the Six of Swords, which is taking hard lessons, moving away with them, moving to calmer waters with them, right? Toward your self-actualization, your greatest, highest good. The unexpected was how deep and intense those negative thoughts were, those self-imposing limited thoughts about what you were, basically, intuitively speaking, what path you should be on, or what you actually should be doing, perhaps for work or in your home, right? Perhaps that's an actual home business, and you've been frightened or worrying yourself, but it's self-imposed. It's literally, and I'm not saying this to put anyone down. That's not what I'm saying, because this happens to the best of us, but it's almost like it's like a misuse of imagination. It's like all the, 8 different ways things can go wrong, as opposed to 8 different ways it can succeed. There could even be, and it would be nice to recognize if that's the case, you could have a second chance to dig deep, for example, into why you needed this moment of do or die. Why was that so deep within you in the first place? Where did those limiting thoughts and ideas and concepts come from? Because you don't want to meet up with this again. You don't want the Eight of Swords following you around. You're going to want to defeat this right now. Step 1, defeat those limiting thoughts, and then just make a break for it. Just go. Take the first step, because calmer waters do lay ahead. And anytime I see a 6, it's always balance. It's the balancing of perhaps the fear and the excitement, right? They can exist together. I also want to mention that there could be some Cancerians out there who need to hear that there can be personal blocks around success. So whatever your definition of success is, really, if that's the case for you, or you've been struggling with trying to get away from self-limiting or negative opinions or ideas about yourself or your work or even your home life, that you really take a look at what success means to you. So define that, find the real sort of, dictionary definition, compare it to your definition, see how accurate that is. And then just really look at issues of success. What does success mean to you? What timeline have you given it? What are you willing to give up for it? What are you willing to do for it? What part of you accepts success? What part of you rejects it? What excites you about it? What scares you, etc. You probably know by now I'm a big fan of pros and cons lists. So if that message is for any particular Cancer out there, or a group of Cancers, make that pros and cons lists around success, because I really see that this is in your heart. This is really where you want to go, and really where you belong. But as I said, there's some old fear there that you're finally getting rid of in the month of November. Here in this gorgeous role in the situation, action. 100%. I don't even really need to go on about this card, the Ace of Wands. Action. You gotta do something. You have to make a move, Cancer. First step, right? The ace, number 1. But it's the essence of it. It doesn't say take action and then rest on your laurels, or take action and, the 1 or 2 times you do something, success will flow from that. It's, as you know, the 2 and the 3 and all the way up to the 10 follow this. It can feel over time burdensome. Like once the higher we get up into the aces, the more strength we need, the more determination we need. This is a very determined energy. It's a fire sign energy, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries energy. You might even want to check out your Chiron right now. If you know your birth chart very well, check in your Chiron where there could be healing necessary for you. If it's in a fire sign, you really want to pay attention to this and start making moves. And again, pay attention to what has mentally been holding you back, because action is necessary. This is also a massive opportunity that you create. You got to do this. This is not a pentacle. This is not like, here you go. This isn't a prize. And it's not a cup, which is a feeling, right? And it's not a sword, which is truth. This is literally action. You have to make a move. You know why? Because your outcome. Look how much you can benefit yourself, your family, and friends, and society at large. This is the position you truly want to be in. This is so close, in my opinion, to the High Priest. Okay? If this was a Queen of Pentacles, I would say the High Priestess, easily. But really either of those entities. This is really just saying that you're so adept. You're so adept at what you're doing that success already belongs to you. It 10 to 1 is trying to find its way to you. And it would be here now, except for these conditions or blocks that have been built around it. But yeah, gorgeous second chance. Nothing standing in your way. If you think that for 1 second, not one iota of anything is standing in your way. Because you're determined to defeat limiting thoughts and opinions about yourself. This is, like I said, Capricorn, father energy, 10th house, public appearances, public reputation, actually the boss, the owner. This is with an ace of wands underneath it. You could have an entrepreneurial spirit here, but you could easily be working with a bunch of other people or need a bunch of other people or programs or services in order to get to this position. I don't think you're interested in doing all the work. I think you know exactly what you are capable of doing and what you are good at doing, because this is a very practical energy. What also strikes home here is this is something I feel, and I said this at the very beginning, I do feel this is something that for however long you've put in the back burner, it's not been achievable or attainable or accessible, whatever you've been telling yourself about it. But the 8 of air, or swords as it were, is an opportunity to use your imagination to your benefit. So in my view, it's just an 8 of swords is a misuse of imagination. It's also a lie, right? It's limiting, ultimately, as I said, but it's also this sense of you can't get out of it, except it doesn't even exist. Like, you've created it, so you have to undo the conditions in your own mind or mental environment that kept you back, because you don't want to see that again. You want to see the ace of swords or the queen and the king, from now on. In my view, in your future readings, I'm excited to see that for you. Playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So naturally, if this is about a relationship, just try to be playful. Don't take things so seriously. Move out of your own head. Use your intuition. As I said, there's no cups here, so really just make a point of paying attention to your intuition. Second chance, as I said, is really going to make itself known to you. I wouldn't push anything or stress about anything either. You'll recall the word is recapture, okay? Reinvention, second chance. a reunion. So something here is going to provide another chance for you. So don't think that success has come and gone. But I do believe a do or die situation is necessary for you to move forward with something here and just stop making excuses or to, with the limitations and the pettiness around, the what ifs and stuff. Just throw some caution to the wind here. Romance can be interchanged with creativity to recapture creativity. Allow your youthful spirit of fun. So really the main term there for me is fun, okay? Relax, have fun, enjoy. The number one way for me personally to do that is to appreciate. It's virtually impossible to appreciate something and to be negative or to think negatively about something at the same time. So if you're using your imagination actively for the benefit of your own health and your spirit, there won't be any room for the negative stuff. So give that a go. Here we have this gorgeous deer, one of my favorite cards from the medicine deck, and this is gentleness. So yeah, especially during this process right now, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with the process. I don't think you need to be hard on yourself because I think you already know what it is you need to do, where you want to be, what you have to offer. You know what it's like to not do well or not think well about yourself. Maybe just switch it up, okay? Use that explorative or that imaginative energy and just come at everything from a space where maybe even a mantra to remind yourself this month is, I approach all things with high vibrational love and the expectation of success. I expect success. I see the universe and divine energy conspiring for my greatest good, right? And just be mindful of the messages you're giving yourself. Body care. Interesting. Body care. So this could be something around the body. If that's the case, if you've been worried about something, that could be what's going on. You could have a second chance to get well. This is a physical card. So you have to take a chance at something. If you've been putting something medical off, for example, I would say go get that looked at right away, or it'll force you to. You don't want to be forced into anything, Cancer. Really be proactive about your health here. Another way to read body care, of course, is to say that sleep is very important right now. Just taking care of the daily attributes of life, something as simple as bathing, exercising, grooming could be very important right now for you, especially if things get busy or if you're taking a turn into something that's unusual or switches up your whole routine. Just remember to take care of your body. The body is a temple. Maybe if you hadn't been considering issues around the body for quite some time, or you didn't consider that what was going on in the mind, or your intuitive sense of where you belong was impacting your body, now you can be assured it is impacting your body. It always does. That's the way it works. Because it's all connected. Nothing is apart from the other, right? Another way to read that as well is if you successfully get over some of these negative thought patterns or belief systems about yourself and you get away from these limiting beliefs, I think that it will positively impact your body, the way that your body moves and feels. It's really interesting to see just the way I have these cards placed currently with gentleness next to an action card next to the body care. Yeah, some of you might be struggling around body, either weight gain, weight loss, self-esteem issues. Be gentle with yourself at this time, okay? It's really, really important. You don't have to hurry anything, right? Everything's moving at the right time, but you have to make a move, all right? Soulmates, so beautiful to see this. At least one person who loves you and whom you love is in your corner and is inspiring you. I never considered this a muse card until very recently. Sometimes we forget how we impact other people in our lives. And I think that this is a nice reminder. Just imagine or recall whom you've been impacted by greatly in your own life. Just pick one person at the top of your head who has really impacted you, and they didn't even have to do anything special. They were just themselves and they impacted you, and they might have even changed the course of your thinking or life or experiences, and how much that helped you. And guaranteed you're like that for somebody too, even if it's not for the same person and it's reciprocal. You've impacted someone too. So just be aware of how much personal power you really do have, and respect that. Respect that. If you respect that in other people, you have to respect that in yourself, and be aware that you are influencing other people, just like you've been heavily influenced by your heroes. So really exciting month for you ultimately here. I do see a very exciting month for you. It doesn't look like a lot's happening, but this is the most exciting part here. You got to make a move, okay? Sort of step one, stage one. Don't be afraid anymore. Just do intuitively what you need to be doing here. Something is going to show itself to you so that it's just, instead of falling apart, I think something's going to fall together. But you have to make a move, and you have to get rid of those old negative thoughts. Whatever it is it does concern a second chance. So if you have a second, leave a message below. I love hearing from you. Thank you all for everyone who subscribes to my channel. That really helps me to continue doing this work. And thank you for encouraging my work by liking my videos and sharing them as well. I think you're all terrific. Thanks for the encouragement. Until we meet in the next video, have an excellent month, Cancer. Take care.